Good. Thank you. What is suffering? Is it an emotion? What is the opposite of suffering? I suppose not suffering? Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Do the jnanis ever suffer? And what is contentment? Okay, we've answered the question. Opposite of suffering is contentment. Okay. Suffering, you're right, is a condition of the mind brought on by certain karmic effects, phala, karma phala. And where does the karma phala appear? In the form of pain. Chikungunya. Half the classes had it. And it attacks the body. Correct? And then it attacks different organs, perhaps so many things. This karma need not bring on suffering. It can bring pain, it can bring discomfort, it can bring a sense of restlessness, of course confined to the body-mind complex, but it need not bring suffering or emotional pain. Because for the jnani, when this body is affected, then it is confined to the body. Yes, there is pain, and yes, there is a pill I can take. Oh no, there is no pill to take. Okay? Sometimes that is also there. Pill na vartate. Okay? And so what to do? You just have to take Bhagavan as a pill. Bhagavan is the pill, chill pill. That's all you have to take. You have to just allow it to go through the system. This is how Ramana Maharshi and what was his name? Ramakrishna Paramhamsa. They both had cancer. Very painful. In those days there was not that much palliative care and all was not there that much. And so they were able to bear it without letting it seep into the chittam, the emotions. Sometimes the suffering can also be in the form of that which is in the, in the emotions. Something happens that you don't want to happen, etc. And because in the second chapter, when the jnani is described, dukkheshu anudvigna manaha, the one who is dukkha, here I suppose we can translate as suffering. Dukkheshu is given. Dukkheshu is what? Plural. In Sanskritam, plural means what? More than two, three or more. Yes. So at least three should be there. Dukkheshu. So that means what? Mental, emotional, all kinds. What is it? Adhidaivika, adhibhutika, adhibhautika, adhyatmika. Adhyatmika means centered on the I, which is again mind, antakarana, emotions. So that means what? That the jnani also may have emotional pain once in a while, but it is seen as something that happens in the mind and then it goes away. It is let go of. One doesn't attach to it. Anudvigna manaha. Because in the jnani there is not just body disidentification. It is not just a conscious disidentification with the body. There is also a conscious disidentification with the ahankara, with the mind, with the heart, with the emotions, with the senses, everything. So yes, somebody said there is a famous story that somebody brought some good news to Ramana Maharshi. One of the devotees had given birth to a baby. It is said that he jumped out from the bed upon which he was seated and clapped his hands. Half an hour later, bad news came. The lady who had given birth, alas, passed away suddenly after the child was born. And his face became very serious and one tear rolled down, they say. But then it is just sahaja. Sahaja means it is that which is confined to the body, mind, sense complex. It does not roll over into all kinds of, that is what I suppose is suffering, into all kinds of unnecessary connections to the past. Oh, with me it's always like this. Jnani won't think like that. With me it is nobody really likes me and this is the proof. Jnani will not think like that. So there is a difference. So there is a ability to put this punctuation mark, which is very, very important. And the punctuation mark used by jnanis the most is full stop. Yes. You localize it, you don't globalize it. You localize it. Yes, it hurts. Full stop. Next. Full stop. It is still hurting. Full stop. Full stop. Full stop. You don't let it brew over. And this becomes a sadhana for the person who is on this road to moksha. So that is what we call suffering, and that is the connection to the jnani. It's localized. Dukheshu anudvignamanaha sukheshu vigatasprihaha vitaraga bhayakrodhaha sthitadhihi munihi uchyate. See, there is not enough hooks. There are no hooks in the jnani. To be able to hook into that, let's say there is a present situation that is inimical. Lot of difficulties are there. Once I was with Pujya Swamiji and then they started to, I was in a big Maidan and then Pujya Swamiji was supposed to give a talk. Before that some people were giving talks and there were some rabble-rousers and they started to throw bricks. I was very worried and I said to Swamiji, you need to get out of here. He said, really? I said, yes. He said, I want to watch. I said, no, Swamiji. Maybe I can help. I said, no, Swamiji, not now. I think we need to. How will we go? I just called one auto rickshaw and put Swamiji in it and I also sat in it. And then we went. And so he didn't want to leave. He was like, maybe I can help. Maybe I can talk to them. I said, after it's all better, you can talk, Swamiji, not now. So he was not very happy at all. And he thought about it and everything. But then by the time we reached the hotel, wherever we had to go, he was completely calm. Even though it was such a difficult thing to see people throwing things at one another. And you can't do anything there. There were some people who were protesters or I don't know what. But two groups were there and they got into a terrible fight. You don't want to be part of that. And there was the brick was whizzing past Swamiji. It was just like that. And he was just standing there looking, what is going on? He said, maybe I can help. I'll go and talk to them. I said, no, not now. After they are calm, you talk to them. And then he said, he complained about me to everybody. He said, oh, she took me out of the situation. But by the time we had reached over there, he was just perfectly fine. He said, okay, this is how it needed to happen. And those people came and apologized and everything. And then the next, I think another couple of hours later, the function started. Everything was well. So this is how it is. It is not made into a huge thing. There is very little. In fact, there is no drama. Because there is no drama because there are no hooks tied to the person. And so there is no drama. Sometimes people like to produce drama because this is the way they feel connected to the world, to themselves. It is true. Because without drama, how do you know I am alive? People will think. Sometimes people think that. How do I know I'm loved? Once I create the drama, and then that gives an opportunity for me to get some attention, then I know I am truly loved. For how long? 10 minutes. Yeah. Until the next drama. So the difference between Ajnani and Jnani is that Ajnani revels in drama, which elongates everything. Jnani revels in Rama, without the D. That's all. That is what it is. So there is no elongating. First difference. So keeping on making it, connecting it and making it longer and longer and keeping on bringing it to mind. Second difference is that there are no hooks from the past. The past is just a clean slate because it has been worked through. It has been, It has been washed out. It has been worked through. And so that is the thing. Please explain the difference between Maharshi, Devarshi and Muni. These were all mentioned separately, 10th chapter, 25 and 26. Let us look. Maharshinam Bhriguraham. Ashvathas, Devarshinam Narada. Maharshi is, Devarshi is a celestial sage. Celestial sage means they are in the Vedas, they are in the Puranas like this. And then they might have walked the earth, but they have gained the status of being reckoned among the Devas. Narada was one of them. Bhrigu and other people, they were, even Vasishtha and Vishwamitra, etc. They were also celestial in that sense, but they were also, in a way, in the much more embodied on the earth. So, the one Rishinam Mahal, the one who is great among all the rishis, Maharshi. The one who is great among all the Maharshis is the subject matter of the 10th chapter, Bhriguhu. Why? Because he gained self-knowledge, as we talked about. Muni means mananashilatvat. Mantum shilam asya asti iti. There is a pratyaya, a suffix called nini. Nini. Alright, and what is the specialty of this nini? It is, in fact, the sutra says Tachilye nini. Shila means the ability, the conduct, the ability is there. So like Brahmacharin, Brahmani Charitum Shilam Asya Asti. Such a person has the capacity, has the conduct of Charitum to move around in Brahman, searching for or pursuing Brahman. That is called Brahmachari. And similarly, Mantum Shilam Asya Asti, the one who has the capacity for contemplation. That is called Munihi, contemplative contemplative person, Muni. Muni namaham Vyasaha. That is what he says. Okay. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Continuing. So everybody has come back. Lord Krishna has come back from Vishwarupa back to his original form. Arjuna says, he in fact says in so many words. In which verse? In the 41st verse he says, or 51st verse. Yeah, 51st verse he says, as much I have come back to myself and I have regained my sanity. I thought I was going mad and I have regained my sanity. Vapas aa gaya hu. I have come back. And then what else? And then I have become normal. And then what else becomes normal? Meter also becomes normal. from Trishtu back to la 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 la, back to the that we know. Okay, Trishtu meter also becomes quote unquote same old normal. Okay, and then Lord Krishna has to say some things in the next 2-3 verses. Let us see what he says. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sudurdarshamidam Rupam Drishtavanasi Yanmama Deva Apyasya Rupasya Nityam Darshana Kamshinaha Naham Vedairna Tapasa Nadanena na Chejyaya Shakyam eva vidho drashtum Drishtavanasi mam yatha. So, first two verses, 52 and 53, are glorifying Vishwarupa and talking about how rare it is that this was even shown and was seen by Arjuna. So, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, what did Bhagavan say? Sudurdarsham. Durdarsham was enough. Durdarsham means dukkhena darshanam. Yes, durdarsham. But su means nicely difficult to reach. Okay, means very, very difficult to reach. Very difficult. Sudurdarsham, very difficult to see. Indeed was this form which was mine. Why? Because even the gods remain desirous of seeing this form. What do we think of? Devaihi api vichikitsa pura. This is what Lord Yama says to whom? Arjuna. Ajiketa. So, this is what Lord Yama says. Devaihi api vichikitsa pura. This was even desired by the Devas. You are a small boy. You need toys. I will give you a kingdom. I will give you everything when you grow up. Don't worry. Just go back. Yes, your father is happy. Yes, your people are waiting for you. Go back. And what does he say? No. In fact, he says, Devaihi api vichikitsa pura. Even the gods were wanted it. Then I want it even more. power. So here, obviously, this form that the Lord is talking about is not the form that was shown in the first, in so many, in the last so many verses. Is the form that has not, it's not a form that has to be shown, it is a form that has to be known as the formless truth of oneself. It is very clear that the Lord is alluding to this, because in the next last two verses also, this will be clarified. So it's not a form that is to be shown. Why? Because you are included in the form. What happened to Arjuna when he saw the form? When you see something, obviously you are away from that. And you see yourself as separate. And what happens to separation? Brings about fear. Separation, alienation, etc. brings about a lot of fear. And so therefore, this form, even by the gods, it is yearned. Immediately we have to think of Kathopanishad, because exactly the same way it is said. And so that shows that there is across the Shruti, there is a Samanvaya. In fact, that's the fourth Brahma Sutra. Tattu Samanvayat. Tat Brahma, that is, how is it known? Samanvayat. Samanvaya means there is no internal contradiction. In one Shruti you will not find different contradictory things being said, and there is no external contradiction, like between the two Shrutis you will not find any kind of a contradiction. And so Samanvaya means it's like a deep assimilation of the teaching. And the deep assimilation of the teaching happens when we are able to, when we see a word which is similar, we are able to immediately go somewhere else and recall that. First, we rely on the teachers to do that for us. And then listening, we get that art ourselves. We get that skill of that Samanvaya. After listening, that becomes like a kind of a spiritual habit. So then here he's talking about the form, but then the way he is extolling it, he's not extolling this inferno with the mouth, etc. He is talking about that which is free of causality. And what we saw here in the verses, thanks to Arjuna's question, we were also given this chance to see this Rupa. And what Rupa we saw was that Satyam Jnanam Anantam alone, which is Brahman, which is Shuddha Chaitanya, upon which the causality is superimposed. The superimposition, as it were, of that causality onto this formless, nameless consciousness, which is myself alone, was truly a remarkable sight, and as well as a petrifying sight. That naturally, because if you see it as separate from you, then it will cause a lot of turmoil, fear, etc. So then he says that even the gods have been Devaha api asya rupasya nityam akankshinaha. They also keep wanting to look for it. How do you get this form? Not by the Veda, not by tapas, not by charity. Nacha ijjaya. Ijjaya means yajnas, etc., rituals. Okay. And if you look at this verse 53, it has a strange resonance with 48. Look at 48 and look at 53. Do you see the similarity? And so one could say that the Bhagavad Gita has a fallacy here of redundancy. What is that called? Punarukti dosha. Not dosa, okay? Yeah. Punarukti dosha. Fallacy of redundancy, one can say there is. But we would say no. Because, first of all, first thing is, because in the teaching, the repetition is allowed. How many times we are hearing etat vai tat? That's not a dosha. That is because it's a teaching situation. Yama is teaching Nachiketa, so it's okay. Here also in Gita, so much repetition is there. The repetition is allowed in the teaching situation, so it's not a dosha. Secondly, here what is being talked about is knowledge. In the verse 53, knowledge is talked about. So knowledge is talked about, whereas in 48 the what was talked about was specific to the rupa itself. That rupa which was given, the Vishwarupa, the darshana of which was given as a boon to who? Arjuna. This is how Adi Shankara separates the two verses and the bhashya for them. So he says there it is specific to the Vishwarupa, and in the Vishwarupa all those things that we saw, truly it was unique, truly it is remarkable, truly terrifying, and truly only Arjuna got it. Why? Because Arjuna asked for it. He asked for it and he got it, and he was ready for it, or he was deserving of it, and so the Lord gave it to him. Here what we are talking about is that which even the gods inquire. And because gods means what? Celestials. Celestials have gone to heaven and other lokas because of Purva Punya. But most of the time it is just a bhoga sharira. It is not a sharira for knowledge. You don't go to Indra Loka to study. What do you go there for? Yeah, you go there to have tea with Indra. You go there for concerts, musical concerts and dance concerts. It's all that there is in Indra Loka and all in the other lokas. And you don't get bored because you have a musical mind. Even if one was on earth not at all interested in music, or only interested in heavy metal music, which is as good as not being interested in music. And so then after going to these lokas also, what is you get a conducive mindset to love, to be the lover of music. And so you enjoy like anything there. And so it is not a place. Even if you wanted to, there is no setup for the study. Why is there no setup for the study? Because it's a bhoga body. It's a body that is for bhoga. It's not a yoga body. It's not a body for karma yoga or jnana yoga. No, it's a bhoga body. So therefore, the gods keep wondering how to get it, but they don't really. Generally speaking, a celestial body with too much punya is an enjoyment body. That is what is the general thing. Yet we see Indra gaining knowledge, we see Agni gaining knowledge. That is just to inspire us. Those are just exceptions. As a rule, it's a bhoga body. And then if one is born as an animal also, it is also not possible. It's a programmed body. And it's not possible to gain this. Only in the human body you can gain this. And then it is not by any of these actions, because here all the actions are talked about. Na aham vedaihi. Veda means study of Veda. That's an action, first portion of the Veda, okay, not Vedanta. And karma kanda. Then not by giving charity, not by ascetic practices, not by rituals. And Shakya evam vidha. You are the only one that has seen me in this way. Okay, if karma will not give me this darshan of what? Myself as Ishvara. That is the darshan. A darshan that is inclusive. A darshan that is even better than the darshan that Arjuna has, because here we know better than to exclude ourselves from this vision. So a darshan that includes me, how can I get it? The Lord responds in the last two verses, which becomes a segue to chapter 12. Bhaktya tvananyaya shakyah ahame Ahamevam vidhorjuna Jnatum drashtum cha tatvena Praveshtum cha parantapa Matkarma krit matparamaha Madbhaktas sarvavar sangavarjitaha Nirvairas sarvabhuteshu Yassamameti Pandava. So he brings out bhakti. What kind of bhakti? Ananyaya bhaktya shakyah. Aham evam vidha. Aham evam vidha. I can be known and seen in this manner. In this manner that you don't think of inferno and all these things, never-ending body and all kinds of extraterrestrial things with tentacles and eyes in the wrong places and all that. No, don't think that. Here we have to go beyond that form. And so, as the cause of the universe, that much we have to see. And the cause of the universe includes all this. But it is not just this. The cause is, we have two ways to look at Bhagavan. This is there in all religions. One is immanent. Immanent means that which is with form. Then transcendental. Immanent and transcendental. Immanent means in the form of the earth, the sky, all these forms that are available to us. Transcendental, that presence which is without form. That is how it is. And so here also, the form is incidental, comes and goes, like pot. Pot comes, pot is here today. Today here is pot. Tomorrow what is it? Crack pot. Okay? Yeah. Today pot, tomorrow crack pot. Gone. Born today, gone tomorrow. This is the status of pot. And so therefore, we don't look at it as as intrinsic. So this form of the Lord is not intrinsic to the understanding of oneself as Brahman. It is an incidental expression. As long as the Jagat is there, Jagat Karanatvam is there, and that which is endowed with the causality is called Ishvara. And a very remarkable sight indeed. And so here, He Parantapa, the one who frightens the enemies, He Arjuna, Bhaktya tu Ananyaya Shakyah. Ananyaya Bhaktya. So devotion, non-dual devotion, where the devotion has no other object. Usually one thinks of Bhagavan as a means to other ends. Here Bhagavan is the end. That kind of devotion. That kind of devotion only culminates in knowledge. It cannot have any other culmination. If you say, I am devoted to, I only want Bhagavan, that means what? Knowledge. There is no other way of getting Bhagavan. You can't just break off a piece of Bhagavan and, you can't do that. Or you can't wait for the body to drop, that is also meaningless. I want only Bhagavan means, since there is only Bhagavan and that Bhagavan is non-separate from you, then then immediately you are on the border of knowledge. There is no other way. And so this bhakti, whenever Ananya Bhakti is mentioned, that means that it is knowledge. It is bhakti that culminates in knowledge. So then he makes it very clear, Jnatum. It is important, the word Jnatum, to know. It is possible, Shakyah. That Shakyah goes with Jnatum. Jnatum Shakyah. Drashtum cha Shakyah. How? Tatvena. Along with the truth of everything. in its entirety, with nothing left out. Because usually when he was looking at one side of Bhagavan, another side he couldn't see. And then that's why he didn't even know where to do namaskara. He said, however you are, wherever you are, in the front namaskara, in the back namaskara, I was doing namaskara all over the place. Because this is just a endless vision. An endless vision because it is limitless. Here he had some kind of a Divya Drishti, some kind of a celestial boon. He was able to see it in its entirety. And here, Jnatum Shakyah. Drashtum means just like Atma va Are Drashtavyah. It must be as good as seeing. As good as seeing means it is as though I am seeing it. And sometimes the word see is used in place of know. If I say, what I told you, do you see it? It's not that you're seeing it, do you get it? That's the idea. So the word see is used for understand. So, jnatum drashtum. And then finally what? Praveshtum. Pra plus vish plus tumun. Praveshtum cha shakyah. Praveshtum means not just to know and see, to enter. Here Arjuna should have got frightened all over again because he saw, who did he see? All the baddies entering the inferno of Bhagavan. That is not the oneness that is being talked about here. What is the entry here is that oneness where the walls between the Jiva and Ishvara. Ishvara has no walls. The Jiva has walls of fear, resistance, and that ahankara, etc., alienation. The walls have collapsed. Today we saw yatha shuddhe shuddham, yatha udakam shuddhe shuddham. So like if you add clean water to another glass of clean, another bowl of clean water, what happens? Nothing happens. That is how this entry is. With the Ananya Bhakti, the mind becomes, the heart becomes free. The Antahkarana is not in the hold of Ragadveshas. It becomes free of Ragadveshas. And a heart that is free of Ragadveshas, fear, etc., what does it do? It is naturally one with Ishvara. There is no merging, there is no entry, even though here Praveshtum is there. We have to put it in apostrophes. So there is no merging, so to speak, it's all one. What has happened? Walls have been taken down. That's all. Those walls taken down, all that is there is oneself, and that is understood. How to do this? Bhakti is very important. Without, you can't bypass Ishvara. After knowing this Ishvara and on the way to understanding this teaching, it's a very important thing. You cannot bypass Ishvara. You can't say, I want pure Brahman. Well, Brahman, pure Brahman is not available because it happens to be in the form of the Jagat. What are you going to do? It happens to be in the form of Jagat. This pure Ishvara is there, Jagat is there, it is as though variegated. You have to understand that it's as though variegated. No, I want pure Brahman. And what am I going to do? I'm going to wait till Pralaya. Okay, wait till Pralaya. Then what? What will happen? Are you there after Pralaya? No. Where will you search? You first of all are not there to ask the question. I need to know Brahman. That question won't be there in Pralaya because everything has become one. So that question won't be there and you won't be there. And then what else? Guru won't be there. Nothing will be there. How are you going to start your enquiry? All that is there is Satyam Jnanam Anantam, latent. And so, therefore, this bypassing of Ishvara is not done. This is the beauty of the 11th chapter. But Ishvara has to be reckoned, confronted. And face to face with Ishvara, all of Arjuna's unconscious came out. Difficulties came out. He knew where all the deficit was there came out. He had fear, he had torment, he had all these various difficult emotions. All that he has to reckon. And he was just very apologetic. He tried to do as much. He had guilt. He had, he had hurt. Okay, my Krishna, what happened? He had a sense of missing. And all these things we saw. And so all that has to be reckoned. How to do that? Through surrender and worship and bhakti. This is how the chapter closes. Mat karma krit. Mat karma krit means a karma yogi who does all the actions for Bhagavan's sake. Bhagavan doesn't want you to do anything. Do all the actions for Bhagavan's sake means what? As a worship, as an act of worship. Everything that one does is an act of worship. We saw that earlier. Yat karoshi, yad ashnasi, yad tapasyasi, yad juhoshi, yad dadati, tat tat kurushva, madarpanam. 9th chapter, we saw that. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever tapas you do, dedicate it to me. It's a way of growing out of the ahankara which says, I am the doer, I am the one doing this. So mat karma krit bhava, and then mat paramaha means I am the ultimate for whom, mat paramaha. I am not in one of the many ends, and I am not to be used for gaining many ends. I am the end. And that's why it's coming at the end of the chapter. Nothing more to say after this. And so, for whom I am the end, mad bhaktaha, the one who is devoted to me, sanghavarjitaha, free of ragadveshas. This is also beautiful. Nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu. No enmity with people. Enmity is not there. I mean, not that there is enmity, but there is some kind of issues, problems. Not there. Nirvairas sarva bhuteshu. Why? Because we see Ishvara in everything. And as we grow to see Ishvara, and now in the next 8-9 days, Ishvari in everything. That is why everything is mother. All the manifest world is her form. She is beautiful because she is there in every form. So when celebrating things like Navaratri and all this helps with the Sarvatma Bhava. Everything is her. Everything is him. And so then the Vaira means the difficulties in dealing with certain incarnations slowly goes away. And slowly goes away. I am able to overcome my fear. I am able to overcome my difficulties. And then, so Nirvairas Sarva Bhuteshu, Yaha, that one, Saha, that one, Mameti, comes to me alone, is non-different from me alone. Om Tat Sat. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Vishvarupa Darshana Yogo Nama Ekadashodhyayah. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate